He's an asshole, man. That dude's an asshole, and he knows it.
From the mean streets of Brooklyn to the rough neighborhoods in Boise, Idaho, we now present the Goonberg Report. Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Mayor Goonberg, and as always, this is the Goonberg Report, coming to you from the top of the Cascades in Boise, brother. You say Boise, I say Idaho. No, you say Idaho. No, sorry, that's just a bad joke. Today we're gonna talk about something in the community, or in the community, or the community, that we aren't allowed to talk about without people getting into having a hissy fit and all that. We're going to address this real problem that is really going on. Now, I know people don't want to discuss this, but today we're going to discuss in 4, 3, 2, 1, go. We're going to talk about this, the obesity problem that we're not allowed talking about in the black community. Now, if you see this meme picture, whatever you want to call it, it says if you speak on this as a health issue in the black community, they're gonna call it body shaming. But like it says at the bottom, I'll just simply respond: if you have nothing to be ashamed about, how can somebody shame you? Now, that being said, I have to address this because it's the truth. I'm talking about obesity. I'm not talking about overweight. I can deal with a chick that's overweight, or a chick you're able to deal with a dude that's overweight, because you can help them out, build. But I'm talking about obesity. Obesity is just, in this day and age, you know what you shouldn't be eating. You know what you should be eating. And like I said, I'm even guilty of this, like during the winter especially, I am. But after the winter, I do it like for 3 months. I ain't gonna lie. I do for 3 months. I try to stay in shape from January to, I want to say, probably till October. Because when because like I start early in January because I want to get a jump on it, because you can't lose weight in May and expect to be fit by June. January is like kind of where you start building your summer body. But I do it like around October. You know, it's football season. It's getting cold. You're cooped up sometimes. Kind of like how it is during the coronavirus in-house activities. But even in that one, the first 2 weeks, I ain't gonna lie, I ate like a freaking pig. But after that, I settled down with my eating habits and I stayed on the diet. But the problem is we can't talk about that. There's a problem in the community. I know there's a problem in the community. But we have these gluttons who tell you, well, why do you got to shame people? I'm not shaming. It is what it is. There's no, like I'm not here for the people to say, well, some people have medical problems. Gee, thanks a fucking lot, Captain Obvious. It's always the people that and it's usually the people who use the extreme examples. They're just fucking lazy and gluttons. Well, you do know people could have problems with the thyroid. And the person that usually says that has a problem with their fork and spoon, and they can't put it down. But that being said, you shouldn't have to accept some fat bastard. And then they go shaming, and shaming to me in the black community, this is a new word for me. This is probably your liberal zaddies program. Because let me tell you, in my household, and like I said, I get big, but what I started doing lately, and you can ask, what do you do with my brothers and I? We used to be big on athletics, and we all still lift. So we have a competition every year in Christmas to see who got the fattest. Now, for a while there, I'd say back when I had problems with my marriage, I was winning by a country fucking mile. I'd lift, get pissed off, I'd quit lifting, and I'd do it. Once I got old girl out the way, and no, she's still 11. I started lifting for myself. And once you start doing it, once you get in the groove, it's easy to do. It's just the fact that you got to get up there and get in there. Now, I'm not here to motivate everybody. I mean, if you want to do it, you do it. I don't like to see people do it. I used to give free advice. I still do give advice. But we have the competition. Who's the biggest? And I usually used to win. Except within the last, I want to say, 10 years. What I did is I just lifted and kept to a standard diet. When I went crazy, I'd make it up through the week and went and eat. So, see what I'm saying? It's just how it goes. But a lot of you don't want to admit that we have an obesity problem. You use the standard, what about your mother and what about your father? I'm like, what about them? They ain't fat either. Are they overweight? Yeah, they're overweight. We have a lot of overweight people. But at their age, they're happily married. They love each other for who they are. They have 4 kids. They had life. Parents like ours didn't have this information like we have now. Some of you are just being blatantly ignorant, willfully ignorant. Like a lot of you see these shows like My 600-Pound Life, and then you see what they're eating. If I saw an episode where a chick was putting cheese on top of rice, and God forbid, I turned it off after that. I was like, I can see where this train wreck's going. But you wonder why you're fat. Or if you eat, or you go to a buffet, and you really think you're doing something, and you wonder why you're fat. Like, you go to an all-you-can-eat buffet. But then what you do is, you'll have a salad or two just to prepare yourself, thinking that'll fill you up. But the problem is you're so big, your stomach got bigger. So that salad doesn't fill you up, neither other salad. So now you go to all-you-can buffet. And meanwhile, especially if you go to a Chinese buffet, you know what they call you? They call a lot of fat people by this name. Hey, you. You're looking at them. You hurry up and go. You eat too much. Yeah, that's what they tell us. It's not funny, but it's true. I mean, the obesity problem in the black community is so bad that 63% of the women and 32% of the guys are obese. Now, let me add another number. The overweight men are around 57%. So I can add 57% to obese or overweight, and the ladies are still beaten with the obese with 63%. And then they swear they are the bag. Ladies, you're not. How can you be a bag when you look like you got drafted in the second round by the Chicago Bears and you're fighting for that left tackle spot? And then you want me to suffer and sacrifice for you when you won't even suffer and sacrifice for yourself? Don't work that way. And you all got all these excuses. Oh, you're not a man. Like, no, I'm a man. And, like, here's what kills me. You guys let these women tell you what a man is. If you're letting a woman tell you what a man is, I have to question if you are a man. That's just me, though. But the fact remains is, in the black community, you try to help people. You want everybody to do good just off the strength of you want them to do good. But some people will sit there and continually make excuses. Look, diabetes is reversible. We know this now. Back in the day, we all know that medicine's a big moneymaker and a big ripoff. We know that these doctors, and I hate to say this, these doctors don't want to treat you because there's no money in the treatment of somebody. Like, you don't think they got a cure for cancer already? They probably got a cure, but they can keep you coming back. It's just like obesity, like diabetes. What you go, your doctor won't tell you, and I'm gonna give you a quick little tip. If you do intermittent fasting for like a whole year, you don't have that many insulin pulses. If you eat the way y'all are eating, you eat like 50 times a day, and every time you eat, like carbohydrates, and not all carbs, because if you eat like leafy green, there's carbs there, but they're gonna trigger your insulin, or it's gonna spike up. If you eat a lot of proteins, or if you eat a good amount, of food every time, your insulin's jumping up. And so then your insulin's bouncing back down. 2 hours later, your insulin's bouncing up because you're eating again. Your insulin's jumping down. Then you got to have a snack, a bag of potato chips. Your insulin's bouncing up. Then your insulin's bouncing down. Then you go get some cookies. Your insulin's bouncing up. Your insulin bouncing down. Then you have dinner. Insulin bouncing up. You do that, you have some ice cream, insulin, or dessert. Then you have a little midnight snack. You don't give your insulin enough time to rest. And even if you are a type 2 diabetic, you can still reverse your diabetes. It's going to take you a while to do it, but you can do it. And you can do it with the help of your doctor if they let you do it. But if you don't, look it up. You can reverse diabetes. This is the great lie they don't want to tell you. You can basically reverse diabetes. So let's have a mature discussion on obesity. And I appreciate this conversation with you. I mean, I'm not trying to assault anybody. This is Mayor Goonberg. And this is, as always, the Goonberg Report.